All right, guys, welcome back to my channel. This video is not sponsored by Lenny and Larry's protein cookies, but it should be. This is actually one of the healthier junk foods I could find that are suitable for my diet, as half a cookie has suitable potassium and phosphorus levels for my kidney failing body. All right, guys. I have been released from the hospital again for the fourth time. Crazy times, man. So let me tell you guys what happened. So a couple nights ago, I was in bed, took a nice nap after my dialysis treatment. Sometimes after dialysis, you get tired because I don't know why it's exhausting, but getting your blood cleans can leave you feeling just fatigued. So I took a nap on the bed behind me, and I woke up, and I couldn't catch my breath fully. And that triggered a panic attack, which then made the breathing harder, which made me start sweating profusely. And I, in a panic, jumped to my car and drove myself to the hospital. No sneakers, no contact lenses, just hit the road and went to the hospital. And the good news is it wasn't a panic attack. It was actually a physical issue that I was having. And the reason why I say it's good news is because it's good I went to the hospital. You know, normally when I have panic attacks, usually when enough time passes, they'll resolve themselves. But this time was different. It wasn't going away after about an hour. So I went to the hospital, checked myself in. Couldn't really speak because I was out of breath. They did x-rays on my chest. They did all, the blood levels, all that stuff. And it turns out that I had 3 liters of fluid in my body. 3 liters, guys. So this right here, this quart of water, this is almost a liter. So I had 3 of these in my body. Basically, I had 6 Dasani water bottles in my body of fluid. Now, what's crazy is just this Monday or Tuesday, I was bragging about how my ankles and feet were skinny. All the water this time decided to go into my cavity. It went into my lungs, and also it surrounded my heart. So my blood pressure was through the roof. I already have high blood pressure, but this was like 180 over 110. This was bad, guys, because when you have extra fluid in your body, your heart has to work faster to kind of like manage that. So my blood pressure was super high. I couldn't breathe because of the water in my lungs. So they did an emergency dialysis treatment, and they pulled out 3 freaking liters. And I'll tell you this, guys, after that, I looked in the mirror, and I could see my abs again. It was freaking awesome. I was like, oh, shit, I got abs. The reason why they stopped at 3 liters is because I started cramping up. Usually when you start to cramp up in your legs, that's a sign that they've already pulled up too much water. So they pretty much maxed me out with the water drainage yesterday. And once dialysis was done and that water was pulled out of my body, I felt so much better. It was unbelievable. I basically had labored breathing for 18 hours. It was tough, guys, to be in that state for 18 hours. Losing your breath is scary. And, we all have our opinions on COVID, the disease. I've had COVID twice. But let me say this. I know that some people did experience shortness of breath from the disease. And man, my heart goes out to those people big time. That is losing your breath. That is not a very pleasant experience, guys. That is probably the worst experience I've had from kidney failure. I would much rather have a swollen knee or bad feet and limp than have shortness of breath. That's like the worst shit in the world. So, all right, guys, let's talk about this New York City thing. I already see some comments, such as Cool Network, saying, why the hell would you move to New York City? I also see Shea Perry saying, that's not a good idea. Okay. Now, I want to talk about this, guys, for a few reasons. So, my health insurance has been doing me a favor, covering me down here in Florida. I should be in New York for all the treatment. That's where they wanted me to be this whole time. but I'm a sales guy at heart, so I was able to stay in Florida. In order for me to get onto a kidney transplant list, I need to either get insurance in Florida or move to New York City. Now, I've been trying to get insurance down here in Florida, but as you know, there's a lot of paperwork and red tape and all that stuff. Hasn't happened yet. So the fastest path for me to get on a kidney transplant list is going to be going back to New York City. So reason number one, I'm going back to New York City is so that I can get analyzed to be on the transplant list. I have a meeting next week on the 18th with a hospital. So this is a big deal for me, guys. This is going to start the process of me getting a transplant. Now, I have a few factors in my favor, and I have a few factors against me. The factors in my favor are my age, my overall physical condition, my low body fat percentage, my high muscle mass, no diabetes. Let's see what else. No immune disorders, anything like that. So those are all the good news. The bad news is I have hypertension. Now, I believe my hypertension is caused because of my kidneys. Because my kidneys can't work properly, I have high blood pressure. I think that once I get a new kidney, that'll solve the high blood pressure, so that'll go away. Whatever. The nurses all say, the doctors all say that my high blood pressure is just hereditary. But as you guys know, I'm adopted, so I have no exposure to whether or not my biological mother or father had the same problems that I'm having. I'm in the dark right now, which is really unfortunate. The other reason that sucks about not having blood family is that they'd be the best people to give me a transplant. Like if I had failing kidneys and I had a biological mother, dad, brother, cousin, sister, they would be the best option for me. But I don't have that option. And I tried going through Ancestry.com, guys, and didn't find out anything beyond fourth cousins, which I don't think is really that different than a stranger. So anyway, I'm going back to New York to get analyzed for a kidney transplant. That's the main reason. Reason number two, because I am now going to be living in the U.S. for the foreseeable future. As we all know, America is very expensive and it's getting worse thanks to Joe Biden's America. Now, I could stay down here in Florida and try to find a job that pays me, decent amount of money. I could try to go back to my old industry down in Miami or Fort Lauderdale and, make a decent living off of that. But I could also go back to New York City, re-enter my old career where I made a lot of money. And so I'm going to try to go back into my old career while I'm here in the U.S. Now, I expect to be here, unfortunately, for a couple of years now because of my condition. Now, once I switch over to peritoneal dialysis, which is through the stomach, then I'll have some more flexibility. I could take the case with me. I could travel. I can go abroad. I can go back to Thailand. But that's in the future. That'll be 2023, 2024. Right now, the next 2 years, I see myself being in the USA. And the reason why I'm happy about that is because I can now stay plugged in to the political scene for the next 2 years, which I do enjoy. I do enjoy doing that content for you guys. So there's a lot of reasons why I'm going to stay in the U.S. Number one is the kidney. Number two is Trump 2024. And if I'm going to be in New York anyway, might as well get a job that pays me a good salary. So I am interviewing right now actively with companies in my old industry. And I have a few leads right now. After this stream, I have to go online and I have to actually send a follow-up email to one of my interviewers. He asked me a lot of great questions, which show intent of hiring me, which I'm very excited about, guys. I'm very excited about that. Why I don't want to go to New York is because New York City is a liberal hellhole. It is also a crime-infested cesspool right now. I am well aware of these things, guys. However, the difference between Florida and New York is when I wave my Trump flags here, it doesn't really change anyone's minds. Like, this is already Trump country, Florida. I get to do that and there's no issues. It's like there's enough Trump supporters that if anything happened, they jump to my aid and there's no issues. But if I go to New York and do that, now we're causing a little bit of a scene. I did the Trump flag waving in Times Square. That was awesome because it's uncommon. You don't see it in New York. It's very rare to see that in New York City. So I think that I can make a more impact on the weekends with the politics stuff. Now, to be clear with you guys, my old industry is probably 80% liberal. And I know that I've already been blacklisted by a lot of clients because of my political views. I've had former clients report me to the FBI after January 6th. even though I didn't do anything wrong that day. But this is how sick these people are. So I know that because I've been so open with my political views, a lot of clients in my industry, they will never work with me ever again. And that's their choice. But what I do know is all of the MAGA supporters, all 20%, they will probably give me a lot of business because I have received so many DMs and messages from Trump supporters that were in my old industry that thanked me and said, Adam, I can't do what you're doing. I have to stay silent in these diversity meetings where everybody is insulting Trump. But you give me hope that you are so open about it. So I know that those are the people that I'm going to have to target and do my business, which is okay because when it comes to sales, 80% of your business comes from 20% of your clients. I know that. And I've always experienced that. You just have to find 5 big clients and you can make a 6-figure commission check just from 5 big clients in New York City. That's all you need. You know, back when I worked in the industry, I had 5 big clients and they gave me about $250,000 a year in bonus checks through the deals that I made. That's crazy. And just so you guys understand how I came to that amount, if I did $5 million in sales and I got paid 5% commission, 5% of $5 million is $250,000, $250K. So I would make that on top of my salary. So you guys can imagine back when I was working, I was balling. The difference is, though, I was in a relationship the whole time. I was with a girlfriend for 3.5 years who at the time I loved dearly. But ultimately, as I started making the money, I started getting that itch to be single. And basically, I wanted to become like the playboy that I always aspired to be. I was like, wow, now that I have all this money, I could probably have sugar babies and travel the world and just be a playboy. And so, you know, I lived across the country with my money. And I basically lived out that lifestyle that I aspired and kind of scratched that itch. And, you know, now that I've had kidney failure and now that I'm surrounded by Trump supporters, which this is interesting stuff, guys. Trump supporters generally are family oriented and religious. That's what I find interesting about it. And because I'm surrounded by these people, I see how proud they are of their family, of their partner, of their faith, of their life. It's actually inspired me to want to move away from that playboy lifestyle and possibly find a partner. Now, even if I do find a relationship in the future, I'm not going to be the kind of relationship that's going to be overbearing and you know, territorial. I'm not about that. I think relationships to thrive need to have some level of independence and separation and some kind of distance between each other because separation makes you miss each other. If you're with each other 24 hours a day, all over each other, you kind of become friends. That's just what happens. And I think that's what happens to most couples. People don't know how to be independent, and that's really sad. So anyway, guys, yeah, I am going to be back in New York starting not tomorrow. I'm going to actually start my road trip tomorrow. So Friday, I'll do 300 miles tomorrow, stop in the middle of nowhere, probably shoot a YouTube video. I want to go out somewhere and do a YouTube video for you guys. Saturday, drive 300 miles, stop and do another YouTube video. And then Friday, 300 miles. And that'll bring me to 100 miles within New York. So I'll probably make the rest of the trip on Sunday or maybe Monday morning. But I need to be at an ER in New York Monday at some point for my dialysis treatment. But anyway, guys, that's the update. You know, I'm feeling great today. I went to the gym. I had a great workout. I mean, you guys see me right now. I think I look pretty youthful right now. What do you guys think? I think I look pretty good right now. Now they pulled all that freaking fluid out of my body. And yeah, I'm going to keep my hair growing, guys. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I have no freaking idea what I'm doing with my life. But that's the update. All right, let me see some comments. Let's go look at the comments. Patterson, maybe he go back there for insurance can help him. I know New York's. Yeah, Paul Little, New York does suck, man. And the people there are, I mean, I feel like an outcast in New York now, which is crazy because I was in New York for 35 years of my life, 33 years of my life. I was there full-time 33 years, then I was part-time 3 years. So pretty much in New York for 36 years. And now I feel like the biggest outcast, guys, when I'm out there. I just don't feel like I belong with these people, you know, wearing the masks on the train. They're all vaccinated. They're all voting for Biden. Like, I'm not about that life, but we'll see how it goes. Get your organs from New York City and get out. Look, if I got an organ tomorrow, I'm back in Thailand the next day. So yes, the plan is, the average waiting time is 2 to 5 years. So I expect to be in New York for 2 to 5 years. However, I do still expect to make a trip to the Philippines in the near future to look for my partner because I need to. I'm 39 years old. I can't just I can't be single in America forever. I got to find someone. So we'll see when that happens. Adam Barr, who made one of the funniest memes I've seen. Let me pull his meme up again. Yo, this shit made me, every time I look at this meme, I freaking die. It's just so freaking funny. So let me share my screen. Hold on. Share screen. Yeah, this shit's so funny. This meme was created by Adam Barr. How Democrats celebrate Trump's house being raided. It's just all these dudes sticking their dicks in each other's asses. Oh my God. One of the best parts about being in New York City, guys, is I'm going to be doing a lot more street interviews. And you guys know that New York City street interviews are dope. And I'm also going to hire a videographer. So we're going to increase the street interviews. We're going to do more. They're going to be better. And if I have an actual income again, I can really reinvest on the weekends into this content. Plus, I could try to do live streams a few times a week like we do now. I'm going to be working like a 9 to 7, 9 to 8 because sales is you do a lot of emails, then you do a lot of in-person meetings, not as many as you used to pre-COVID. A lot of them are on Zoom now, apparently. So it's going to be some meetings, but then the big thing is taking clients off for dinners and drinks. I'm going to be a little limited there because I literally can't drink that much anymore because of my water retention problem. But should still be able to have a good time, and take clients out. Ray, I can't. I'll be in the middle of a road trip. Thank you for the invite as always. I appreciate you, bro. We all need to pray for President Trump. That's right. God bless Trump. I seriously mean that. So Scott Jennings says, what do you do for work? So Scott, he's one of my Facebook friends. I used to work in the advertising sales industry. So what that means is I would sell advertising space to clients. So I'm going to try to explain this to you guys as quickly as I possibly can. So let's say you have a client like Samsung or Pepsi, right? If they wanted to go out into the market and buy advertising, they're not really the experts. They're the experts in making soda or making cell phones. Now, Samsung and Pepsi have huge marketing budgets. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars. But surprisingly, in the grand scheme of things, that's not a lot of money. So what these brands do is they go to an advertising agency. An advertising agency will have many clients like Samsung, Pepsi, Procter & Gamble. What they'll do is these big advertising agencies will combine all the budgets and do something called upfronts, UPFRONT. Now, when they go out to the market to buy advertising, instead of $100 million, they come with billions of dollars. So now they can negotiate better rates on behalf of their clients. And as a result of that, they take a little markup off the top. And that's how advertising companies make their money. So I used to work at an advertising agency, meaning I was handed $50 million to spend on advertising. So I would take money from Procter & Gamble, let's say Tide detergent, that was one of my clients, and I would have to say, all right, who is Tide's customer and where is the best place to reach them? So I would reach out to the digital internet community at the time. This is 15 years ago. I would reach out to MySpace, Facebook, Pandora, all the different companies. And I'd say, how many moms are using your website? What kind of advertising can you give me? What kind of targeting can we do? What kind of graphics can we put on your website? And whenever I got the best package, the best pricing, I would then give them the money and they would then give me ad space on their website or their platform. After doing that for 5 years, I decided to become a sales rep where I would work for a media company instead, where I would sell the ad space. So for example, when you're on a website and you see banner ads, somebody sold that. When you're on a mobile game on your iPhone and you see like a ad, somebody sold that. Now for you guys, those ads are probably annoying, but for the advertiser, like Procter & Gamble, that's kind of how they get their products out. And for the gaming companies, that's how they get paid and can offer you guys free content. So it's a wonderful ecosystem. It really works for everybody. And it's an example of capitalism. And I'll tell you guys, I remember the day when I realized advertising worked. I was on a gaming website. This is probably about 15 years ago. And I saw an advertisement for the Nintendo, what's it called? The DS. I saw a little ad for the DS, and I said, that game looks fun. I got up, drove myself to Toys R Us, and I rest in peace. And I bought the DS right there on the spot, $150. And I was like, wow, I only bought this because I saw an ad. Ads work. So I'm telling you guys, advertisements work. As a matter of fact, I have sold shirts for Joe Biden Hates You when we did the live stream of his speech at CPAC. I sold a lot of shirts that day, guys, because advertising works. It was such a, think about it. People who come to my channel, most of them love Trump. They're watching Trump's speech. And here I go. I say, this video is sponsored by JoeBidenHatesYou.com. It's all contextual. It's all relevant. And my target audience was watching the program. So I sold some shirts, which was awesome. Now, I didn't make that much money, to be honest, guys. I made about $200 that day in profit. But it's still exciting. It's still better than nothing, you know? So if you guys want to buy a shirt, don't forget, go to JoeBidenHatesYou.com, because he does hate all of us, and buy a shirt and support this channel and support my work. And also, every shirt you buy pretty much pays for a gallon of gas in Joe Biden's America, even after the prices went down. Your life is at risk, Adam, if you move to New York City, plus one shutdown's happening again in New York City, it'll be bad. So when I say, by the way, guys, when I say moving to New York City, I'm really moving to the New York City area. Because I have a car, I don't see myself living in New York City. I see myself either living in Long Island or Jersey. I'm going to go live on the outside of New York. So that way, if I need to go into Manhattan, I could hop on the train, get in, or I could just drive in from New Jersey. I'm not actually going to be in New York City unless it's for meetings or to take clients out for dinners and drinks, or probably some dates. I'll probably still go on dates. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. Maybe I find some girl who takes my heart away. I don't know. I will say, though, dating in New York City, super fun, super fun. You know, I used to go on dates when I was single, probably like 2-3 times a week. And it's really, I hate to say this, but it's very easy to close in New York City because everyone's like, we're having a good time all going out, nightlife, drinking, is what it is. Let's see. So, I mean, at this point, it's hard. If you're not in the – look, I've been out of the industry for a couple of years now, and it's already difficult for me to come back in. You know, these companies want people that are, like, freshly in the industry. So it's tough. You know, you really got to find a company that's willing to hire you. At this point, Scott, I don't know how old you are, but the only way that I'd probably get in if I were you is if I knew somebody that, like, knew you and just was willing to take a risk on you as a salesperson. Big dog, bulldog, man. You know, I'm doing as good as I possibly could be, I guess. All things considered. I was watching someone today talking to people on the street in New York, and most of them said they do not miss President Trump. They don't like Biden, and they miss Obama. How can that be? I voted for Obama, so, you know, I totally get it. And most people are disappointed in Biden. I mean, his approval rating is in the gutter. They are, without question, propping up his approval rating. You know, they say it's in the upper 30s. It's probably in the mid-20s. I think that's probably, you know, where it's really at. But, you know, polls, they oversample Democrats, and it is what it is. A lot of people watch CNN, and, you know, that's just what happens. But, you know, we're going to go out there and keep my bracelet on. That's right, my Trump bracelet. Hey, Vessel, how you doing? Thank you so much. Your skin is clear now since you got back to working out. Yeah, you know, I think I'm looking pretty good right now, guys. I hit the gym today. Hold on, I got to move that banner ad. Got to show the guns. Hit the gym today. I'm feeling good. I did shoulders. And, you know, I was working out. I was there 5 days a week. Obviously, I missed the last 2 days because I was in the hospital. But I am back, guys, physically. And I just can't wait to keep pumping more iron. And I understand that it's going to spike my creatinine levels. But because I'm on dialysis, that's going to clean my blood anyway, and it's going to keep my levels down. I've gotten my creatinine as low as 6.0 from dialysis so far, which is the lowest I've ever been in the last probably 10 years. So, you know, there's one thing I never told you guys, which I should probably tell you now, this was a couple months ago where I hopped on to do a live stream, and I was having trouble speaking. it was difficult for me to move my jaw, and it was difficult for me to coordinate. And I actually had a slight lisp. I don't think anyone noticed, but I felt it and I heard it in myself. And turns out that that was a sign of kidney failure, because what happened was the toxins in my blood were reaching a point where it was affecting my coordination, which was really scary. But, again, I'm thankful I caught my disease when I did, because the doctors told me if I waited another 4 weeks, I probably would have been dead. My blood would have poisoned me to death. And we didn't get there. So I'm still here. And once again, when I compare myself to other people in the hospital next to me or the dialysis center, even though I am the youngest person there, usually there's another guy that goes there too. This black guy, he's younger than me, but besides us, everyone's older and morbidly obese. And there's this one guy I know, his name is Chip. I put a video of him on my TikTok channel before. He is missing a limb, his leg. He is already morbidly obese. He's already in his probably 60s or 70s. He's wheelchair bound. And he told me on Sunday this week, he drank 6 liters of Coca-Cola. 6 liters. He told me that he gained 26 pounds of fluid. And I'm just like, one of the first things they tell us at dialysis is don't drink any Coca-Cola because it's got too much phosphorus. Don't drink any dark colored sodas because it's got too much phosphorus. And what happens is if your phosphorus levels get too high, it sucks the calcium out of your bones, and now you could break your bones. This guy fucking drank 6 liters of Coca-Cola, proper, not even Diet Coke. And I'm just like, these are the people next to me that behave as if they don't give a fuck about their body. And here I am reading every label, monitoring every ounce of fluid I intake, going to the gym 6 days a week, making sure my body fat is down. I'm at 14% right now, trying to get down to 12 again, but it's really hard because the water, even though the water is just water, it's not body fat. I look at the mirror, I'm not as lean as I used to look because of the fluid retention, whatever. But I'm just like, I'm doing almost everything. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke any cigarettes. I see these people outside dialysis smoking cigarettes. I'm like, have you just given up? I get that it feels good to have a buzz, and maybe you're not eligible for kidney transplant, so it doesn't matter anymore. But it's like, come on. Like, you're already down an organ, a major organ. Like, what are you doing smoking too? You want your lungs to be fucked up also? Anyway, I guess it happens you can't break. But I'm feeling, feeling pretty somewhat hopeful, even though my circumstances have been pretty shitty. I'm just excited to get a paycheck again, guys. It's been 5 years since I had one. What's my next step to learn? It's really, it's not much to learn. That's the thing. The ad sales industry is not difficult at all. It's just the connections, the relationships. They want to hire people that already can get the meetings when you come in. They don't want people that are going to come in and need to get to know everybody. The only time that they'll hire people like that are like the junior account executives that are like 22 years old out of college. And those people will usually be assistants to salespeople. So that way they can get exposure to the same contacts. And then in 2 years, they'll slide into the AE role, but otherwise it's very difficult. It's all about connections. Thank you, Scott. I really do appreciate that, man. Look, there's 50 people watching right now and 46 now. 40 just dropped off when I said that. Some of us are going to unfortunately have health problems in the future. And, I'm not trying to be an inspiration, but what I'm trying to do is just be transparent about what I'm going through so that you guys can understand the lows and the highs. I have shared every major up and down that I've had with you guys on my channel since it started. Every time I'm in the hospital, you guys know. Every time there's a medical problem, you guys know. And I'm not making any of this shit up, guys. Part of me was starting to think, do I just like being in the hospital? Am I in the hospital for attention, for the Facebook likes? Because I keep ending up there. But the reality is, that's not the case at all. And this most recent trip was truly a reminder that when my body is telling me something, I need to listen to it. And when I felt short of breath, I was right. There was fucking 3 liters of fluid in my cavity. That's crazy. So I'm going to tell you guys that are watching, make sure you always pay attention to your body. If you're feeling sick, if you're feeling bloated, if you're feeling like your heart's racing, if you're feeling nauseous, if you're feeling anything, consider going to the ER and getting checked out. Conversely, if you're feeling good as well, still go to the doctor and get your blood checked. Now, I'm going to plug my website again for you guys because I'm very proud of this website. This is probably the nicest website I've ever built. But this is my website for Get Your Blood Checked. The URL is getyourbloodchecked.com. And really simple, blog. You click the blog up top, and you can literally read my entire journey. Check this out, guys. I am so proud of this blog. I really am. This is my entire journey every day, pretty much, since I've been dealing with kidney failure. So I take all of my Facebook posts and I put them all up here. So you can come in, you click it, and you could read my story. And you could see every day the ups and downs. And I'm going to tell you guys a little secret, because you guys are my fans and I appreciate all of you. I'm actually going to be turning all of these articles into a book. So all of these articles are going to be turned into a book, which will be sold on Amazon in the near future. It's not big enough yet, this book, but it's probably about 15% done. And it's just going to be my microblogs. It's going to add up, and then boom, I'm going to put it into a book. And it's going to be all about my kidney journey. So that's why I'm putting this all here, is so that I have it somewhere and I don't lose it. And you could read all about the ups and downs. You could also sign the pledge to get your blood checked right here. You just come in and sign in that you're going to go to the doctor and get your blood checked. This is something free. I just do this so that you guys feel a little bit more committed to it. And on this channel, guys, shit, they do have pronouns. I was going to say we don't use pronouns, but there you go. There's MX. Damn it. And here's the story behind Get Your Blood Checked. You could watch the video. I'm sure you guys have already seen this video. And of course, if you want to donate to my platform, you could donate here. You just click donate here. And I actually got, check this out, guys. I actually got the first piece of merchandise in. Get your blood checked. Boom. That's a nice shirt, guys. Look at that. So I'm going to be doing content soon for the channel, Get Your Blood Checked. So if you guys want to support that, it is a nonprofit pretty much. You guys could click here and donate. And all the money goes to the getyourbloodchecked.com website, which will help me go out on the street, talk to people, motivate them to do that. And just keep telling people to like go to the doctor and like take care of your shit. Don't end up like me. And for your convenience, guys, on this website is a lab finder. Right over here, you just click find a lab. And here you could type in your zip code. I'm in Orlando, so I just type in my zip code. And then it shows you within 10 miles all the different places that you can get your blood checked. So you see LabCorp, Quest Diagnostics, and then you can make an optional appointment right here. So this is all through my website, getyourbloodchecked.com. So pretty powerful stuff, guys. Try to make it as easy as you as possible. So there you go. The website's Walk in a Lab. That's my lab finder partner. Okay, let's see what else we got. New York City. My condolences to me as well, man. Shit. Moving to New York City. Again, the only reason why New York City makes sense is for the money, guys. If I could go back and make 60% of what I used to make, I'm going to be a very rich man again, which I'll be very happy about. And then I can have all the sugar babies in the world. Let's go. Let's go, sugar babies. I thought you went back to New York City, but you won't be further away from Dad. No, my dad is in New York. He's in Long Island, my dad. He's in Long Island in Florida. So, he's only in Florida in the winter. But, yeah, he's in New York now, so I'll be closer to my dad. Hello, Faith. David Omar, we need to talk. I hope you're still watching David Omar, but if you're not, or whatever, hope that you're watching this. I did not go to the doctor for 12 years either. Okay. And let me get something, guys. Hold on. You know what? No, it's on my Instagram, actually. Let me turn my AC off. It's freaking cold in here. Off. Okay. Hold on. Let me go to my Instagram real quick. Okay. All right. Where are we going? Where are we going? This is for you, David Omar. This is for you, David Omar. Share screen. Okay. So this is my personal Instagram, guys. David Omar. David Omar. This is what I look like. Okay. This was me when I was bigger. All natural, by the way, guys. But this was me. I was a freaking beast. Whoops. Hold on. What else we got? I was a beast. I was probably about 12% body fat here. 13%. Look at that arm. That's insane. All natural. Man, that's insane. Let me see what else we got. Look at that, guys. I was a freaking beast. Damn. I was much bigger back then. Just more muscular. So anyway, the point of me showing this to you, David Omar, is that, yeah, this was me in March of this year. This is me in March. So the point of me showing this to you, David Omar, is I did drink, didn't smoke, and look what happened to me. Was I scared to go to the doctor? Absolutely. That's why I never went. And I only went because I was in so much pain for 3 months, and I finally said, enough is enough. I need to go figure out what the hell's going on in my body. And that's when they found out I had kidney failure. So if you're feeling healthy right now and you haven't gone to the doctor, go to the doctor now. Don't wait until you're like limping for 3 months like I was. Don't wait until your foot changes color like mine did. That's just stupid. So David Omar, go to getYourBloodCheck.com, sign the pledge, and go to your doctor this week. Promise me and promise yourself. Really, it's only for your benefit. Because even if they find something, you could still prevent making it worse. Like, for example, if I went to the doctor 5 years ago when my kidney function was probably 40%, they could have saved that 40%. They could have said, all right, Adam, here's what you got to do from now on to protect whatever you have left. I would have loved to have been in stage 5 right now, or stage 4, or stage 3. But I'm on end stage, which means I almost have no kidney function left. So don't wait and be like me. How long are you going to be in New York City? I don't know. I'm going to guess 2 to 3 years. I don't know. I mean, this is going to be tough because I fucking hate winter, guys. I fucking hate winter. I don't know how I'm going to deal with that. I haven't had winter in 7 years, guys. So that's going to be tough to deal with. We're going to have to think of a solution. I don't know what that solution is going to be, but I literally do not own any winter clothes right now, which is tough. All right. Let's talk about politics, guys. I want to just go over what's been going on in the news lately. First things first, anybody who wants to watch the conversation with Clay Clark has been re-uploaded now to Rumble. So that is officially on Rumble now. So if you guys want to watch my chat with Clay Clark, that's on Rumble. I had to remove from YouTube because, obviously we say things that YouTube doesn't like. So in order to protect my channel, when I end a stream like that, I just take it off and put it on Rumble. So it's on Rumble now if you guys want to watch it over there. But let's talk about the big news. I think the two biggest pieces of news in the past couple days has been the IRS agents and has been the raid on Trump's house, both of which are extremely, extremely unacceptable, guys. I mean, this Even you have third world countries now speaking up against this. You have third world countries now speaking against this, saying this is what happens in those countries. That's how it's you're not supposed to raid a president's house. This is fucking nuts. Okay, guys, so I want to play this video for you. This is actually, you know what? Let me play the video first of how I met her so that you guys can see the context. So during, I went to Tampa for CPAC and I met this beautiful, beautiful girl named Morgan Ariel. This girl, in my opinion, is marriage material. Check her out. And the news of the day, are you scared about monkeypox?
No, because I'm not getting banged in my butt. So
that is the way that it is spreading allegedly. I'm not getting banged in my butt either, but I'm not concerned about monkeypox.
Good.
Would you get the vaccine against the pox?
Never in a million years would I take anything from pharma. Big pharma. Yeah.
And the news of the day. So that's when I met her. I saw her just on the street. She was actually filming Jimmy Levy, who's performing. He's like a big conservative Jewish rapper. Jimmy Levy. Shout out to you, Jimmy Levy. And so that's how I met her. And obviously, you know, now that we're both fighting for Trump, you know, we exchange messages every now and then because I want to do a collaboration with her in New York. And when I have a job again, I can actually pay people's flights to come collab with me, which is going to be exciting. But she put up this video today, which has gone viral on TikTok. And I wanted to play it for you guys about what the IRS, their job posting they put up. This is some crazy shit, guys.
So the IRS has put out a listing to look for, you know, the 87,000 new people that they're going to hire to spy on American citizens and apparently potentially kill American citizens too, because they are wanting you to have a carry and conceal and have a weapon while they want to disarm the average American citizen and have stricter gun laws. Make that make sense, but check out the listing. Adhere to the highest standard of conduct, especially in maintaining honesty and integrity. Work a minimum of 50 hours per week, which may include irregular hours. Be on call 24/7, including holidays and weekends. Maintain a level of fitness necessary. Now they care about health so much. Carry a firearm and be ready to use it with deadly force if necessary. And the best part, be willing and able to participate in arrests, execution of search warrants, and other dangerous assignments. Oh, and did I mention that they spent nearly $700,000 in ammunition in early 2022? Again, remember the goal. You will own nothing and you will be happy. So
that's exactly it, guys. The goal is that we're going to own nothing and be happy. And as you know, our government in the past 2 years has done a bang-up job at getting us there slowly with gas prices, which is extracting our wealth, with inflation, which is extracting our wealth. Inflation is outpacing wage growth. So even if you got a 3% raise at your job or a 5% raise, true inflation is closer to 20%. So your dollar is simply not getting you as much stuff. People are actually saving more money, hoarding more money because they don't want to spend their money because of all the damage that's been done to the economy. People are scaling back on their luxuries, which, again, I'm not going to say is a bad. I've been a minimalist for the past 5 years. You know, I've been traveling the world, so I wanted to carry as little as possible. So I've been a minimalist, and I'll tell you, it is a much better life when you own less shit because you can just pack up and move. And I always say, if it can't fit in my car, I don't want to own it anymore. Now, granted, I do have a big comic book collection. That's the only thing I own that can't fit into my car, but that actually has financial value. So that's something that that's an exception to the rule. That's like an asset. That's like having stocks and bonds, right? Same shit. So anyway, this is Morgan Ariel. She is awesome, girl. She's one of the most shadow banned people, and you guys should go follow her on the Chinese spy app if you guys have it. Scott says it's obvious our enemies are in control of the country. I was a diehard liberal until 2016. CNN turned me against an agenda by slandering Trump so much. Scott, that's exactly what happened to me. I was a liberal my whole life without realizing I was one because I never really cared about politics. And it was only until 2019 when I realized how much they were demonizing Trump, where I was like, there has to be a disconnect because why does Trump have all these loyal followers, but the media says he's basically Hitler? And then when I actually researched Trump myself, I said, yo, he's not that bad. And then I realized he's actually awesome. So Here's the thing. I'm all about treating people kindly. I'm all about treating people equally, but there's limits to how tolerant I think we need to be in society. And when you start talking about renaming pedophiles to minor attracted persons, I'm just like, nah, like that's taking it a little too far. Like you've gone too far with it, guys. And that's kind of where we're at now. Oh, look, there he is. There he is, guys, at the gym. Look, there he is. There he is today. Like, bookmark. There I am. Look at that gun. Sun's out, guns out. I'm trying to find that video that I saw of this woman talking about minor attracted pronouns, minor attracted persons. It's crazy. It's crazy what they're doing, these liberals. Did Benny Johnson put it up? No, I don't think Benny Johnson put it up. Maybe it's under Reels. I don't know. I forgot. I don't know where it is. I saw it. Maybe it's in my stories. Let me see if I can see my stories. Let's see. Yeah, this is it. Okay. Check this out, guys. This is sick.
Let's talk about minor attracted persons.
I'm just going to pump the brakes right there, because allowing language control to enter the scene is what causes the slippery slope to begin. Do not let your language be controlled. These are not minor attracted persons. These are pedophiles. But let's continue watching.
Because they are probably the most vilified population of folks in our culture. And most folks are making incorrect assumptions about them without actually knowing much about them. And those assumptions create harm for an already marginalized population.
They are lucky that our assumptions are the only things bringing them harm right now. But please do continue.
This term simply means that the person has an enduring sexual or romantic attraction to minors. They've not chosen this attraction, just as the rest of us have not chosen whatever our attraction is.
And that right there is why I bring up language control and why this is so important. Saying it in the same terminology as we don't choose our attractions as adults, saying that in terms of pedophilia is extremely dangerous. Let's be clear, pedophilia is not a sexual orientation. It is a mental illness. It is a disease that requires treatment. It is not normal and it should not be accepted. You cannot comply with this language control, and you cannot comply with self-censorship. This is dangerous and it has to be addressed.
Today, I want to talk about minor.
Yep. So this is a channel that's causing a lot of waves, Gays Against Groomers. And, they've been getting a lot of negative pushback from the left because the word groomer has now been deemed a slur against the LGBTQ community. But this is literally Gays Against Groomers. So it's like it's getting them in like a trap. They can't really say much against it because it's literally a coalition of LGBT people that are standing up against groomers. It's a great channel. So if you guys want to support them, you can go to Gays Against Groomers. And this is exactly it. This is a slippery slope that, this is one of the agendas of the liberal ideology is to normalize MAPs, which I think is horrible. We don't want that shit to be normalized. Remember when Trump called a BLM protester in Portland to be killed and the cop showed up his house, shot 100 times? Imagine be caring about Trump's civil rights. Which I don't know what BLM protester in Portland, and I don't know which times they shot somebody 100 times. You're gonna have to put the name so we could actually fact check that story. But I don't know what you're talking about there. So drop a link, drop a story, drop a name. Don't kidney failure patients qualify for Medicare? I think so. I have to look into that. We definitely qualify for disability because it's considered to be a disability, which, is pretty crazy that I am now considered disabled. It's just weird, guys. And I'm like, some days I'm at the gym feeling good, looking better than most people at the gym. And then some days I can't breathe. Some days I can't walk. Some days I'm in the hospital. Some days I'm bloated. I just don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Michael Reynolds. Let me look at the name. That name does sound familiar. Michael Raynal. Okay. Let's read the Wikipedia just to get a refresher, guys, because it's been a while since I've actually read about this story. But I think I know what it's about. Okay, here we go. On August 29, 2020, Aaron Danielson, an American supporter of the far-right group Patriot Prayer, was shot and killed after receiving an approach of a caravan. Okay, right. So let's go to a fact check. Aaron Danielson was a member of Patriot Prayer. He was walking in the streets of Portland where he was stalked by Antifa members. He was stalked and they were waiting for him, literally in like the alleyways and the shadows. And one of them screamed, "It's a Trump supporter," and shot him point blank in the chest. That's what happened. He was unarmed. He had no weapons. He was just killed point blank after being stalked. He did not punch anybody, attack anybody. He was not an aggressor. He was just walking down the street and he was executed. So that's what happened with Aaron Danielson. On September 3rd, 2020, his suspected killer, Michael Raynal, an American anti-fascist activist and Antifa supporter, was shot and killed by a federally led fugitive task force near Lacey, Washington. President Donald Trump commended the U.S. Marshal for shooting Raynal, describes his death as retribution, and claims to have personally sent in U.S. Marshals to get Raynal during the first presidential debate with Joe Biden. Raynal had admitted to killing Danielson in an interview shortly before his death, but claimed it was self-defense. However, according to police, Raynal had followed and targeted Danielson. Danielson's killing was the first time in over 26 years that a self-identified NF. Right, because there was no self-defense. There's video of it where he was just walking down the street and was executed point blank. So Danielson, Michael Raynal, admitted that he killed him. Admitted, and then he lied and said self-defense. There was no self-defense. We have the video proof. We got the receipts. I'm not going to pull the video up to watch it. You guys can do it on your own. But yeah, you once again, I mean, Lisa, you sound like a leftist. You tried to spin the facts of the story. The guy was a murderer. He murdered somebody. Okay. Now, I don't ever want to see anybody killed because I value the sanctity of life. I would have rather seen him get arrested and serve time in jail and live out his life. I'm anti-death penalty. But at the end of the day, he wasn't some innocent guy. This guy was a self-admitted murderer who killed a Trump supporter just because of the fact he was a Trump supporter. So let's not spin the facts. That's what happened. And this was I remember the story happening. But again, back in August 2020, I had just become a Trump supporter. So, I don't really know. I wasn't really keeping up with too much of that stuff back then. Yeah, didn't he have a shoot? Yeah, didn't he shoot out with the cops too? Like, didn't he shoot back? Right? I mean, are we losing our minds here? Once again, this guy was like a known murderer and even admitted it. Michael Raynal was on the run.
Michael Raynal was on the run. He had been named as the suspect in the killing of a right-wing demonstrator in Portland and had fled to Lacey, Washington, a suburb of Olympia. On September 3rd, he is staying here in an apartment authorities say belongs to Nate Dingus. It's just after 6:50 p.m., and Raynal begins the 100-foot walk to his Volkswagen station wagon. U.S. Marshals, alongside officers from local agencies, are parked in several nearby vehicles, including here, watching his movements. Raynal is only carrying a cell phone and a bag in his hands, says Dingus, who is watching from the parking lot. As Raynal reaches his car, two unmarked vehicles speed toward him. The SUVs stop a foot from the Volkswagen's bumper, boxing it in. 4 officers jump out. The officers claim that they shout, "Stop, police." But Dingus and 4 other eyewitnesses, who are standing here, here, and here, say they don't hear the officers shout any warnings or commands before firing. In the statements they've provided to investigators, officers have given differing accounts. One officer claims he sees Raynal, inside the car, raise something that looks like a weapon. But 2 other officers say only that Raynal makes, quote, furtive movements toward the center console. They open fire, and bullets pierce the driver's side of the Volkswagen's windshield, hitting Raynal, according to investigators. The bullet casings are visible here, just a few feet away. A 911 dispatch conveys the chaos of the scene.
People are running all over, saying they heard about 5 or 6 shots. There are a possible 10 subjects outside right now. Just for information, this may be the U.S. Marshal.
Reinell is wounded, but he manages to flee the Volkswagen. Officers continue to fire. Reinell steps from behind a truck and into the street. One officer claims that Reinell raises a handgun, but other officers say that Reinell only reaches toward his pocket. A 5th officer arrives here in this area and opens fire along with the others. Reinell falls. None of the eyewitnesses on the street has a clear view. According to investigators, 4 officers fired their weapons around 30 times. Investigators won't say how many times Reinell was shot.
So once again, this person in the comments is saying 100 bullets. 100. And now we're hearing it's actually 30. So that's called, she just exaggerated by 333%, which is typical of the leftists.
But the Times visited the scene and reviewed dozens of videos and images. We found that at least 8 bullets hit civilian property. Some of them flew right by 8-year-old Silas Lewis, who'd been riding his bike in the road. Others blew out the windows of a nearby car. At least 5 bullets hit the wall and the fence of Angel Romero's home. One went...
I will say, though, that is reckless, that they shot so many shots that that actually went past the target and hit civilian property. That, to me, is bad shooting, because you shouldn't put civilians at risk in their own home. So I will say that that's really bad police work. And I would think that would require more training than what they did here. So,
through his dining room, nearly hitting his brother. Officers say they find a .380 caliber handgun in the right front pocket of Reinell's pants, his hand on or near the weapon. Though police never contend that Reinell fired a weapon, inside the Volkswagen, they find a bullet casing matching that handgun's caliber. Investigators say it could be up to 3 months before crime lab results can prove whether that bullet casing actually matches Reinell's gun. But they also say there is no other evidence that Reinell fired at the officers.
So once again, I want to say that this guy, unfortunately, was a self-admitted murderer. Killed somebody in cold blood, was in self-defense, and did have a weapon on him, was armed. And because he was a murderer, showed he was willing to use that gun. I also say that I don't think the police did a good job shooting to the point where it went past the suspect and hit random buildings. So I'm going to call the police out on that part. I would have liked to see this guy get arrested and taken into custody. Now, as far as Breonna Taylor, the real story was that her boyfriend used her as a human shield. She wasn't sleeping in bed. That is a myth that has been disproven. Her boyfriend was the one who got her killed, and he used her as a human shield. So when you bring up Breonna Taylor, you have to know the facts. She wasn't sleeping. She was in the hallway. She was a human shield. So that's the truth. That's what really happened. She wasn't lying in bed. Well, that's the thing, though. The left loves to turn bad people into martyrs. That's why you can, be a bad person, and then you can have a statue of yourself. It's what they do. Like they'd rather have statues of George Floyd, who, by the way, I don't think should have been killed that day. And I think that the police were wrong. I also don't think that they got a fair trial because of all the social pressure to have a guilty verdict. And when BLM says, if we don't get the guilty verdict, cities are going to burn. They have statues and murals of George Floyd, but then they demonize people like Larry Elder and Ben Carson, and they call them whitewashed or too white. So I just find that to be insanely idiotic of the left that they choose their martyrs. Angelo Ziccarelli says, I am going to do that. I will wear my MAGA hat in New York City on the weekends. I can't do it Monday to Friday because of my industry. I can't be seen in a MAGA hat during the work week. But on the weekend, you guys know for sure that I'm going to be an activist as much as I can be. But I don't do the protests. I don't do the riots and stuff. I avoid that stuff. I just want to stick to doing street interviews and flag waves. That is what I like to do. That is what I like to do. Conservatives are going to be shocked to find out the FBI has always been a political apparatus, but has just historically targeted socialists and anti-war activists. I mean, look, there's this new myth now in the media that the conservatives are calling for defund the police now. That's not what we're doing. We're calling for defund the alphabet agencies because they've been completely corrupted and they've been weaponized. We support the police and the military. I mean, at least I still do. I know after the Capitol riot, January 6th, a lot of people were giving me shit that I still back the blue. But I do back the blue. It is what it is. You know, I got a lot of cousins in the force. I still back the blue. But I don't back a weaponized Department of Justice or FBI that's going to raid a former president's home. That's fucking nuts. That's nuts. That's what I was saying earlier, Noah, on my YouTube community page. Do not react. Do not take the bait or act out any aggressions, guys. He's right. J6 was a gift to the left, but it wasn't as bad as they wanted it to be. They basically, on January 6th, because nothing really happened except Trump supporters got killed, they tried to make a story that police got killed that day. No police died that day. And Officer Brian Sicknick, who died the following day, he died of natural causes, okay? But they lied and tried to make it seem like it happened on the day of January 6th because they needed that day to be worse. The thing is, Trump supporters are peaceful and we have restraint. And I'm very happy that that day, beyond pushing and shoving, there wasn't anything else. All it was pushing and shoving. You know, some people did get caught in the door. There's that famous video of the officer screaming that was caught in the door. That's unfortunate, and that's bad. But ultimately, it was pushing and shoving. Not a single Trump supporter used a firearm, did anything that was extremely violent. It was a pushing and shoving thing with the police. And again, that's still bad. You should never do that against the police. So again, violence should be punished. But ultimately, really nothing happened on the Trump supporter side. And I think that they were disappointed by that. I think they wanted more. And so because they didn't get what they wanted, they then started doing the J6 trial to make it seem bigger than it was. And now, there's probably going to be a second phase to this around the midterms, if not after the midterms. So I'm just going to tell Trump supporters out there to stay calm, stay peaceful, stay patriotic, don't react. If you see something happening, get yourself out of the situation because you will end up in jail. They are looking for any reason to put Trump supporters, MAGA, in jail. Just look at January 6th. They will throw you into solitary confinement. They will isolate you. You will not get a fair and speedy trial. You will not even get a trial. You will just be thrown away and locked in a freaking dungeon, and you will not become political prisoner in this new America that we live in. So just be careful. Just be careful. Unfortunately, Elon, it is what it is. You know, I don't have much of a choice right now. Again, Trump called for 5,000 to 10,000 extra national security guards, National Guards, and Nancy Pelosi and Muriel Bowser turned him down. And they can never live with that fact. Live down that fact. Thank you, Noah. So, PG, I'm actually driving tomorrow night. I'm going to start the road trip tomorrow, do 300 miles a day until Monday. And I'll get there Monday. Yeah, because Hillary actually did something illegal. You can't delete and acid wash 33,000 classified emails and get away with it. That's the difference. Trump did nothing wrong, and he's getting his house raided. Hillary factually did something wrong, doesn't get raided. Hunter Biden factually did a lot of things wrong, doesn't get raided. Joe Biden, quid pro quo with Ukraine on camera. If you investigate my son, you're not getting $1 billion. He said that. Doesn't get raided. So all these Democrats can do whatever they want. They don't get raided. Trump allegedly has a few documents in his safe. Allegedly gets raided. Makes no sense. Anyway, guys, tomorrow they are going to be apparently unsealing some of the documents. Right here, DOJ requests court unseal search warrant. So tomorrow we're going to find out what's going on with the search warrant. We're going to see what's in the documents and why they felt the need to look at Trump's home. I'm very excited about that. Now, as far as the FBI, I don't know what's going on with this story. I did not hear about the story until tonight because I was in the hospital and I was mostly sleeping, trying to get through this. So let's watch this.
I've always loved building things, not just structures and skyscrapers, but teams.
Okay, instead of listening to their ad, you're going to watch my ad. If you want to support this channel, guys, go to joebidenhatesyou.com, buy a t-shirt. It's only, I think, $15 with the discount code Trump. You get 15% off your entire order. So buy a shirt, support my channel. Go to joebidenhatesyou.com.
Was killed after a standoff with police. We can confirm from the Ohio State Highway Patrol that suspect is dead. 3 law enforcement sources telling our colleagues Bryn Gingras and Josh Campbell that he is identified as Ricky Schiffer. The suspect was killed after a standoff with police lasting several hours. Now, here's what I can tell you from our reporting at this moment here about the suspect. An account bearing the name of the suspect in this standoff made a post on former President Donald Trump's social media platform referencing an attempt to storm an FBI office. It also encouraged others online to prepare for a revolutionary-type war. On the Truth Social account, that is President Trump's account, the user claimed he was present in Washington on January 6th, but he did not say whether he was actually on Capitol Hill and or entered the Capitol at that time. And authorities have not yet confirmed that the account is the suspect. But what we can tell you, Wolf, is that the suspect is confirmed. The name is confirmed, Ricky Schiffer, and that investigators are combing through his social media presence as we speak, as we just told you about what they've been able to tell us about his claims to have been at the Capitol. Now we can tell you a little bit more detail also about how this attack and the pursuit played out. He entered the FBI Cincinnati field office at about 9:15 this morning, according to law enforcement. He had a standoff there, some kind of a confrontation with people at a security checkpoint there. Then he fled in a car and drove north on Interstate 71 from Cincinnati. He exited the highway at least once. He then turned at least once with officers in pursuit, and they were firing. He was firing at them, according to the Ohio State Highway Patrol. He was firing at them during that pursuit and after his car came to a stop. Now, just a short time ago, Lieutenant Nathan Dennis talked about what happened after that standoff with police and when they tried to move in and take him into custody.
Okay, that's the video. I was like waiting for something else to happen.
The QX60 totally fits my.
So I got this other article up, guys. 5 fast facts about this guy. Let's go through it real quick. Schiffer, who was armed, was tried unsuccessfully to enter the FBI field office in Cincinnati, Ohio. Okay, what else is there? He was wearing body armor. He was armed. He fired some shots. Disturbing posts emerged on a True Social account urging people to kill the FBI on sight. Okay, that's crazy. This guy is a threat and is an idiot. He is, well, I thought I had a way through bulletproof glass and I didn't. If you don't hear from me, it's true. I tried attacking the FBI. And it'll mean either I was taken off the internet, the FBI got me, or they sent the regular cops. People, this is it. I hope a call to arms comes from someone better qualified, but if not, this is your call to arms from me. Leave work tomorrow as soon as the gun shop, Army, Navy store, pawn shop opens. Get whatever you need. Be ready for combat. We must not tolerate this one. They've been conditioning us to accept tyranny and think we can't do anything for 2 years. This time, we must respond with force. If you know any protests or attacks, please post here. Someone said, "Are you proposing terrorism?" He said, "No, I'm proposing war. Be ready to kill the enemy, not mass shootings where leftists go, not lighting buses on fire with transsexuals in them, not finding people with leftist signs in their yards and beating them up. Violence is not all terrorism. Kill the FBI on sight and be ready to take down other active enemies of the people and those who try to prevent you from doing it." Wow. This guy is unhinged. I'm having trouble getting information, but Viva Frey said Patriots are heading to Palm Beach. I recommend going, and being Florida, I think the feds won't break it up. If they do, kill them. Holy shit. I expect Trump to call for peace. Trump was my hero just a year ago, but we must not continue to lay down and take this. If he does call for peace, it is probably because he fears for the lives of his grandchildren and young children. It is a dark situation for the family, but millions of other kids are in danger until we show the enemy how Americans do it. Wow. So this guy is obviously unhinged. He definitely is a Trump supporter. There's no denying that. And obviously, I condemn everything he's saying. This is an extremist. This guy has gone past the normal realm and is going towards violence. I mean, look, I'm the kind of guy that brings out Trump flags and then takes my camera and asks people questions on the street. What are your thoughts on this? And I put a Trump sticker on my back window of my car. That's it. And I go to rallies. That's my line. That's my limit. But this, I mean, this is crazy. But this, I think, is another example of how we're headed towards a civil war. There are a lot of Americans on both sides that feel this exact way. I mean, just a couple months ago, Antifa shot openly at one of the Proud Boys, Tiny, on the street. And I think Tiny was shot in the leg. He just did it in the daylight. So these things are happening more and more. A lot of it has to do with the mainstream media that is radicalizing people. A lot of it has to do with the algorithms that are radicalizing people. And ultimately, it has to be our responsibility as individuals to be self-aware. You know, I try to be very self-aware of the information that I read online and the stuff that I absorb. You know, I try. I mean, that's why I'm not a QAnon person. I mean, if you are, that's fine, but I'm not. And you guys saw, I go to CNN. That's the first place I go every day. So I actually absorb liberal media first, followed by conservative media. And maybe that's what keeps me kind of balanced, because I do see what the other side is reading, hearing, and thinking. I don't know. But this to me is a little crazy. This is a little crazy. This is a little far. You know, it's a different thing saying you have a right to bear arms, protect your family if someone invades your home. That's okay. This is extremism, and I think that this should be called out. Yeah, he misspoke. If you watch that clip, he meant to say stand back and stand down, but he said stand by and stand down instead. He didn't mean stand by. He meant stand back and stand down. And by the way, the Proud Boys are never the aggressors. They are usually the reactors to violence by Antifa. And I've actually witnessed it for myself. The Proud Boys are typically there to protect the unarmed Trump supporters. And, you know, if you look at the Proud Boys and you look at the Antifa are very skinny, pale people. And if you look at the Proud Boys, they're very big, strong, masculine men with a lot of them have big beards. Let's see what else. He had ties to extremist groups. Well, obviously, he is an extremist. The FBI director said violence and threats against law enforcement should concern all Americans. What is this on Twitter? Just borrowed this. Oh, they're showing his tweets that he responded to stuff on Twitter. Okay, that's cool. Whatever. So anyway, that's the story with the FBI guy. He is dead now, and you know, once again, I don't like to see anybody killed for any circumstance. I don't want to see anyone's life cut short for any reasons outside of natural causes. So, you know, at the end of the day, he probably had a family. He probably had, you know, parents. Thoughts and prayers to his loved ones. But unfortunately, you know, we all know the expression: you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. The other way you could put that is you fuck around, you find out. And you know, today he fucked around and he found out. And that's unfortunate, you know, but he obviously was radicalized by somebody, by some group, by the media, and he paid the ultimate price for it. So, you know, it is what it is. You know, there are actually chicas guapas in New York City. They're just liberal. So I'll have to pretend to be a liberal again. Although I do have a Hillary 2024 shirt that I wore on a date recently. I don't know if I told you about that, guys, but I matched with the liberal on Bumble. So I decided to show up with a Hillary 2024 shirt to the date. And it was pretty funny at the end of the day when I revealed that I was actually MAGA. She was none too happy. But I was happy that I wasted her time because I didn't like the fact that she was discriminating against a marginalized group such as MAGA. All right, guys. I am going to call the stream. It's been a good hour and 17 minutes. Thanks again for watching, guys. I'll keep you guys posted on my trip back to New York City. I should be there by Monday morning, Sunday night, one or the other. And we'll see how it goes. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. If you want to support my channel, go buy a shirt. The Joe Biden Hates You. JoeBidenHatesYou.com. Use promo code Trump. 15% off. And I'll see you guys pretty soon. As always, God bless Trump and be free, my sheeple. All right, where's the music at? Where is my music at?